Hi there. So I'd like to tell you how exactly refunds, reimbursements, and warehouse lost, warehouse damaged works in AMZPing. Let's start with an example. Let's say you sold this one item, and then you would see one unit sold, and if you expand and go into details, you would exactly see that the revenue was that much, right? Then the Amazon fees were that much. Then the manufacturing, your cost of product is $4.05. You paid for inspection, you paid for shipping, and in total your profit for this one sale is $12.78. Okay? So now imagine a refund comes for the same item. So what happens? How do we show that refund? Well, this is an order with a refund of the same item. So what happens is now, on the right side here, we show all the items that were affected during the refund. So when the person refunded, Amazon gave back. So here basically it gave you and put back, right? Here it took and here it gave you back. So basically on the refund it does some reverse charges. And also it keeps some of the fees. For example, Amazon does not give you back FBA fee because it was already incurred. In addition, Amazon does charge an administration fee for the refund. On some categories, there are even some extra fees for return processing and things like that. So you would see them all under miscellaneous. So when the refund came, see, all these things were put back, some of them were not put back. And in the end, one refund for this item. So you sold one item and the same item was refunded. In the end, for this product, you are losing $3 for every refund. $3.16 for every refund that comes in, you lose that much money, right? Okay, so this is probably clear, right? Now, let me just mention about this section here. So when you sold the unit, you spent, right? Because when you sold the unit, this product is gone from your warehouse. And you actually had some costs like manufacturing, inspection, and so on, right? So these costs are gone and you cannot take them back. And the item is gone as well. That's why it's here. Now, when the item comes back, so you get it back to your inventory, right? You should be getting it back soon, at least, right? That's why we put back your manufacturing cost on the refund. That means that the item is going to come back. That's why your cost, you didn't actually incur the cost yet, because you will resell the same item and then we will show those costs on that. So when you resell it again, then we will put it here, right? So we don't want to put them twice. That's why on the right side, we refund those costs to you as well. That's why in the end, you get the real cost that really costs you to refund, which is actually a sum of refund administration fee and FBA fee in this case. That's the cost of one refund. Now, sometimes when the customer does not return the item in 30 days, what happens is that Amazon charges the customer for having gotten a refund but not returned the item back to Amazon. And in that case, we call it a reimbursement. So let's look at the case. You sold one item, a customer refunded that item, and later he did not return it, right? So in this case here, if it's like this, that means the customer did return it, right? In this case. So it did return it, and that's why we put back your manufacturing costs, and that's how much it costs you, that whole refund process. Now, if he did not return it to the inventory, Amazon will give you a reimbursement. So it will give you a certain amount of money, which will appear here, and they decide this amount themselves, what they want to give you. This doesn't, I don't know how they calculate it exactly, but it's usually a little bit less than you would make when you just sell the item for profit. So they just calculate this magic number that your inventory is worth. They charge this to the buyer because they did not return, so their card gets charged this amount. And you get the reimbursement. So how do we show it? We show it here, and now because the item came back to your didn't come back to your inventory, right? So not to lose you again, let's start from beginning. Here you sold one item, so you had some costs, like manufacturing, inspection, and shipping, right? Your cost. Now the person returned the item, so your cost was not there. So you actually did not spend, right? You did not spend if he returned. Now, after we found out that he actually did not return the item and you will be getting a reimbursement, then we add the cost for you. So in the beginning there was $4.05 here, then the refund came, and now reimbursement comes. That's why we take again another $4.05 and another bunch of charge just for this one item. Now this might be the most confusing part, why we are taking it here 2 times. Well, because we want to show all of the steps that happened along the way in case you are not filtering by order ID, but you're filtering by date. If you're filtering by date, you will see separately, maybe this reimbursement came on June 22nd, but the refund happened on May 22nd and the sale happened on May 1st, right? So if you're filtering by date, these will be appearing individually, and that's why their affected sides will show whatever they are representing. So now when you have a view of one order and you see everything that happened in this one order, that's why you see, so the first thing was on the left side you had a cost, then the cost came back to you, but actually the guy didn't return anything back to you. That's why you have a cost again. In the end, your cost, when you add those 2 sides up, is the same as the usual side is when you just sell one item. Okay, but it appears twice doubled up here just because we are showing all these 3 things together: sale, refund, and reimbursement. So this now shows you at the end if the person reimbursed it, right? So basically when he reimbursed, for the Amazon gave you $16, and in the end for this whole process, for this order, it became that you made a profit of $7.06. Now usually when you sell this item, when you just sell the item, you make $10 profit, right? But because Amazon reimbursement is a little bit less, actually it's not that much less. Let's see, because refund administration fee never gets refunded and this one never gets refunded, your profit after the reimbursement is $3 less than the usual profit, right? So it's a nice thing that they never returned it, right? Because you made a profit now on that refund instead of a loss on the refund, right? So it's nice that the customer did not return it in the end, right? Let me just cover one more thing that could happen. Sometimes you may see something like this, which is a reimbursement. Hold on, let me just set it up for us. Okay, so sometimes you will see units sold 0, but 1 reimbursement came on that day. If you expand the row and click on details, you will see the adjustment section why this happened. In this case, the warehouse of Amazon lost your item and then it gave you a reimbursement, right? So in that case, the reimbursed amount is a little bit less. Remember, I was saying that here they make a less amount. Actually, they don't. They return exactly the normal price to make you get the same profit as you would usually. But when they lose it or they damage it, they make a little bit less. That means that when they lose it, you made a profit as if it's sold, right? How we calculate it is like that. This is your income, and then we put in your costs. So because the item is lost and you did have a cost of manufacturing, inspection, right? You paid all these things already for that item, but it got lost. So you did have some costs related to that, and the reimbursement came for the lost item. In the end, you made that much profit. Now, usually for the same item, if you sell it, right? I don't think I have an example of that same item, do I? Yes, I do. So that is an example of the same item. If you sell it normally, if we see there is a PPC cost, but if we would add those together, see the profit, if there would be no PPC, my profit would have been $7.77, right? But here, when they made a loss reimbursement, I made only $6.33. So I made like $1.50 less than I would usually make, because Amazon just decides for some reason give you a little bit less. So it's nice when they lose it, because you don't have to make a sale to make some profit, but the profit is less than the usual profit you would make. In my case, it's still a little bit better than running it with a normal MyPPC spend. So there you go. These are all the different cases that AMZPing covers: refunds, reimbursements, and things like that. So I recommend going to your sales overview and checking how many reimbursements you have in total, and then expanding it to see how they actually affect your bottom line profit. All right.